Welcome to the Poetic Resurrection podcast, where we explore perceptions. How self-reflecting questions can give you a better understanding of self. I'm your host, Sonia Iris Lozada. Stay tuned. A speech I gave over the weekend prompted this week's episode. Poetic Resurrection is in its third season, and I realized I haven't told you my story. How did I get started in poetry, writing, and acting? I grew up in Chicago to loving parents who stated, "Follow your dreams." My parents were the working poor, but during the holidays we had live music parties with family and friends. Therefore, I wanted to be a singer-songwriter. My poetry became lyrics for songs I wrote in the 80s. Yes, I'm dating myself. I was a punk rocker. I even had a fanzine called LOZT, and at that time, I was. I interviewed and photographed bands like The Clash, Echo and the Bunnymen, and The Cure, to name a few. After this, I realized entertainment journalism wasn't for me, even though it was fun for a while. After recording a demo, performing in a video, and a few shows, I realized that I just enjoyed singing, and the music industry, which I loved, was not right for me. I pursued music for so long that I felt I had to keep at it, but I didn't. An actor friend of mine had a medical problem and had to stay home. He offered to give me free acting lessons, and I said yes because I thought that would help my music. I was hooked. I fell in love with acting. I started with theater and then musicals, got an agent, and started acting on TV and film. I'm still doing it. Throughout all the different avenues in entertainment that I've tried, my passion is still poetry. I wrote poetry just to write it. I'd put it in a drawer and then I'd save it. It was my therapy. In 2016, I decided I wanted to publish my poetry. The poetry dealt with raw emotions. I contemplated using a pen name, but then I decided that I just needed to get over myself, and I used my given name. I hired an editor and researched publishers. I realized a manuscript takes 6 months to be read, and then they'll tell you yes or no. I didn't want to wait that long. Basically, because I was afraid I'd change my mind about publishing. I went to Amazon Kindle because it was easy. It was just really easy to publish a book. I was on the phone with one of the reps from Kindle, and she kept telling me to press publish, which is just the enter key. And she had to tell me 3 times because I thought about everyone then would know how I felt. My traumas, my heartaches, and yes, some humorous experiences. I pressed enter and ended up receiving great reviews, and now I have 3 books, and I'm currently working on my 4th, which is the 3rd installation of the Inspire Me series, entitled Inspire Me in Time of Need. I started the Poetic Resurrection podcast because I saw so many people marching and working at food banks, and I wasn't doing any of that. So I thought, how can I reach people? Because there's so much fear and uncertainty right now. How can I reach them so that they have self-acceptance? By reading poetry, meditations, and having wonderful guests who share their experiences about life. Sometimes things can be difficult, but sometimes the difficult situations are what bring us closer to the self. We learn lessons. We get closer to who we are. Sometimes we don't want to see that. But if you can see that other people go through the same experience, and my podcast has reached you and made you think, then my work is done. Self-acceptance equals acceptance of others. And at this time, it is crucial for us to feel self-acceptance. The poem for this week is Sadness, from my very first book, Inspire Me Raw. Drizzle of a tear on a mountain chisels the gorge, smoothing the surface, starting new. Flow of waves from the full moon surrenders like a soldier near death. Nowhere, yet peace. Mourning former actions, an abundant essence yearned. Live the now, dismiss the rest. Soul's journey brings me home. Master task, letting go. Rewind thoughts confirmed. Dissolve elusive dream. Purge past yet debris clings. Sun warmth coddles me. Time wasted? Was it? Serene breeze expels fears like a resurrection. Many blessings. Thank you for listening to the Poetic Resurrection podcast, available on Apple iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Music, and many other podcast platforms. Please visit us and subscribe to our newsletter at poeticresurrection.com for the latest information and updates.